Hey guys, welcome to our next video. I've got Candice again. She's going to be running through the next workouts. Hey Candice. So guys, today we're going to run through a nice little dynamic warm-up. Okay, remember, as I said in my previous videos, dynamic warm-up means you're moving around and you're not staying in a static position. We're then going to run through a couple of exercises. We're going to run through something called a kettlebell goblet squat. We're going to then do a kettlebell lunge. We're going to do some body weight tricep dips, and then we're going to finish off with an isometric prone plank hold. Our first warm-up exercise that we're going to run through today is something called a bird dog. So I'm going to get Candice to extend her right leg out for me, and she's going to lift the opposite hand. That's good, Candice. And what I want Candice to do is to extend that arm out as far as she can. Nice extension of this toe, and you're going to bend your knee in, Candice, and bring that arm in for me. And you're going to extend out for me. I want you to keep looking up, keep your posture. Big breath in, and I want you to switch over to the opposite side for me. That's it. Extend out, and big breath in. Extend out, keep looking up, and big breath in. Try keep the hips nice and in line for me. Extend out, and big breath in. Next exercise, Candice is going to do a hamstring raise from the ground. So what Candice is going to do is she's going to apply more pressure into her feet, and she's going to raise her hips by contracting the glute maximus and activating these hamstrings. Drop down for me, breathe out, extend up, and a big breath in coming down. Breathe out, extend up, bum nice and tight, hamstrings engaged, and drop down. Coming up, hold for 2 seconds, and come down. A side lateral lunge. So Candice is going to step across to the left hand side, and she's going to drop her weights across. Come back up, over to the opposite side, and step across. You feel that on the inside of your legs?
Yeah.
Perfect. Coming up for me, and step across. Nice deep stretch. Come back up, and step across. Nice and dynamic. Our next one, guys, we want to get the heart rate up a little bit, so we've warmed up the muscles of the legs, so it's been quite dynamic. And we're just going to get Candice jogging on the spot now. So we're just going to start off at about 70%, and we just keep moving through this. 70% for about 20-25 seconds, just to get your heart rate up. Don't kill yourself too much just yet. Remember, this is still the warm-up. We've still got to get to the workout. We're going to get a bit more dynamic, warm up the shoulder and the hip and gluteal region. So we're just going to go into some jumping jacks. So Kat's going to take the leg out, in, out, and in. That's good. Perfect. Okay, the next part of our workout, guys, we're going to get on to the actual workout part, the strength part of our training. I'm just going to take an 8 kg kettlebell. Just for demonstration purposes, I would like to show you how to complete the exercise properly. So first of all, we need to start off by holding the kettlebell in an upside down motion like this. This is called a globe fashion. We're going to do our squat counts, okay? What we want is we want our legs in line with our shoulders, and we don't lean forward onto the knees. We always make sure that we're more sitting down and then coming up. Now with the weight being loaded in the front, there's more pressure that is placed onto the anterior side of the quadricep, the rectus femoris, the lateralis, the medius. And from here, you need to drive through your glutes a little bit more, and it requires you to keep your core nice and engaged. So if I had to show you front on, I keep my elbows underneath the kettlebell, I hinge my hips, I take a big breath in, I keep my core upright, and I keep looking up. From here, I breathe out, and I come back up, engage the legs, use the core. Big breath in, breathe out. So let's get the legs in line with the shoulders. I want you to drop that lumbar part of the spine back. Start hinging at the hips. Take a big breath in, core nice and tight, and breathe out for me. Now, your next squat, I want you to make sure your knees don't go over your toes. So try sit back a little bit more. Big breath in, and breathe out. Keep your core nice and tight. That's good. That's 3, 4, good work. Big breath in, breathe out. 5, keep the core nice and engaged. 6, good work, good recovery there. A little bit slower. Big breath in. 7, big breath in. And 8. Kansas completed her 8 kettlebell goblet squats. Kans, how did you find those 8 repetitions? Do you feel like you got to 6 quite easily?
I got to 6 alright, I got to 8 perfectly. That would have been my limit.
Do you feel like you could have done any more repetitions after 8?
No, I think it was the perfect weight.
Okay, that's perfect, guys. So what we've done now is Candice has actually identified the weight that she's supposed to be working within her certain repetition zone based on our program that we have over here. Our next exercise, we're going to go into a kettlebell lunge. And we're going to try with the 8 kg, see how Candice copes with this one. Okay, so remember, we're always holding that kettlebell in that globe fashion. So from here, Candice, I want you to keep your elbows underneath the kettlebell. You're going to take a step forward for me, and I want you to take the back leg, and I want you to drop that to 90 degrees. You can drop it to the ground, just so you can practice. From here, you breathe out, you step up. Then I want you to step back on the opposite leg, drop that leg down to 90 degrees, breathe out, step up. You need to keep your core nice and tight and engaged, and keep your elbows underneath the kettlebell. So I'm going to run through the form of the exercise with Candice so that we can just make sure she's completing it properly and safely. So Candice, I want you to step forward with your right leg for me. That back leg, I want you to drop it down to 90 degrees all the way to the floor. You're going to breathe out, you're going to step forward, take that left leg to the right foot. Step back on the opposite leg, big breath in, breathe out. That is 1. Big breath in, breathe out, big breath in, breathe out. Keep your core nice and tight for me. Elbows underneath, squeeze your core, breathe out. Good. Big breath in, breathe out. So we've just completed the kettlebell lunges. Kans, how do you 8 kettlebell lunges feel? Do you feel like you could hit 6 easily?
Yes.
How do you feel when you get to 8 repetitions? Do you feel like you could go past 8 repetitions? How many more do you think you could do?
I feel that I start to become a little bit tired, or I lose my form or my balance.
Okay, that's perfect. So guys, that type of situation, what we do is we keep the clients in that zone. Okay, so we don't want to increase the weight, we don't want to decrease it too much. Do you feel like you can complete the exercise properly?
Yeah.
Okay, next one, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to move into an upper body exercise. This one is called a tricep dip. What we're going to do is we're going to start off on a bench. I want you to keep your legs bent at 90 degrees, and you're going to bring your body off the bench. From here, I want you to hinge the elbows to 90 degrees, and you breathe out. Big breath in, breathe out. When you're coming up, I need you to keep your core nice and tight, and the focus is on the triceps. You're going to feel a little bit of stretching throughout the shoulder, okay, but that is the whole part. When we're coming down, you'll feel that stretch. When you come up, squeeze your triceps, breathe out, extend them out all the way for me. Big breath in, breathe out. If it's too easy for you, straighten out your legs. Big breath in, breathe out. Okay, so we've got Candice up on the bench. We're going to take her legs into 90 degrees. You're going to take your body off the bench for me, okay? And I want you to take a big breath in, hinge the elbows to 90 degrees, and you're going to press your body back up. Big breath in, breathe out. Like you feel when you're coming up, you get a little bit of core engagement. Feel that at the back of the spine, okay? Your shoulders and your triceps. Perfect, good work. Okay. I just want to find out from you, how many more repetitions after 8 do you think you could have done there?
Maybe about 2 or 3?
About 2 or 3 more reps. Okay, so guys, we're seeing that Candice is exceeding the repetition zone, and that's ideally not what we want. We want to bring her into that 8 repetition zone. Okay, so what we're going to do is try and take our legs out a little bit further now. Big breath in and breathe out. And I want to see if that makes a difference for you. Legs out. That's it. Big breath in, breathe out.
Feel it more.
You feel it more immediately, right? So all we're doing is we're just changing the leverage system there. 3, that's it. Big breath in, core tight. 4, that's it. Big breath in, breathe out. 5. Big breath in, breathe out, isolate those triceps. 6, that's it. 7, and 1 more for me. And it should be around failure.
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so guys, see exactly what we did there? We just took Candice's legs and we just moved them out a little bit more to increase the intensity. We didn't even add weight. On that 8th repetition, she hit failure, and that is where I want you to be working in that 6 to 8 repetition zone, because that's where we're going to get the maximum muscle contraction and strength gains. in the last exercise of the strength training circuit is called a prone plank. What we're going to do is we're just going to do this exercise for 30 seconds. It's an isometric rectus abdominis focused exercise, and it's an endurance based exercise for Candace's core. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off down on our elbows, and then Candace is going to suspend her weight via the hips. Okay, now Candace, what I need you to do is I need you to squeeze your bum together, turn your hips in towards your chest, and contract your rectus abdominis as tight as you can, your abdominals, okay? And you're just going to hold here for 30 seconds for me. And it also comes down to your breathing. When you breathe out and you squeeze your abdominals and we activate that muscle group, we're going to get the maximum performance out of the muscle, okay? So let's get you down onto the knees, okay? I want you to get your elbows underneath your shoulders for me. I want you to try and suspend your weight. Okay. Do you feel comfortable with that weight? Mm-hmm. It doesn't put any pressure on you, any pain? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's perfect. What I want you to do is squeeze your bum for me, and I want you to swivel your hips towards your chest, breathe out and squeeze your abs. And I want you to try and get the spine as straight as you possibly can. Okay, legs nice and straight, and you hold this for me. Squeeze the rectus abdominis as tight as you can, and keep holding. Kind of hold the prone plank for 30 seconds. How do you feel at 30 seconds? Do you feel like that's your maximum amount you could do? Could you do a little bit more?
No, I was shaking a lot.
Shaking a lot? So we're going to keep it at 30 seconds. Candace has been able to identify what weight she is supposed to be using when she is exercising now. And we've been able to identify that approximately 30 seconds is the perfect amount of time for her to hold the plank hold before she gets a little bit of back pain that she mentioned to me, okay? If your client has any sort of symptoms where there is back pain, or they're feeling a little bit of discomfort when doing the exercise, make sure you reduce the weight and you're able to focus on them completing the exercise safely. I'm just going to run through a quick little warm down with Candace. This will be a more static based warm down. What I want you to do for me is I want you to stand on one leg, and I want you to take your hand and grab behind for me. And all I want you to do is I just want you to pull your heel in towards your bum and keep the upper leg straight. Do you feel that stretching in the top of the quads? Okay, so a nice stretch in the quadriceps. You have the rectus femoris, the medialis, and the lateralis. Okay, switch to the opposite side for me. And what I want you to do is I want you to hold this for about 10-15 seconds. For the next one, what I want you to do is take your left leg, step forward for me. Take your right knee, bend it a little bit. I want you to hinge at the hips, keep looking up to keep that spine nice and straight. Do you feel that stretch behind your leg and your hamstring? Yeah. Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is, before we bend over a little bit more, you're going to pull your toes in towards your shoulder. Do you feel that? That's perfect. Now what we do is we breathe out, we take our head down towards our knee. Nice deep static stretch. And you can return back up for me. Change to the opposite leg. Our next one, we're going to go into a hip flexor stretch. So remember the lunge position I showed you. I want you to step forward, drop that leg down to 90 degrees. And I want you to start off by leaning forward. Make sure that your knee doesn't go in front of your toes, but it is in front of your ankle. And now I want you to press your torso backwards. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in the hip flexors. You're feeling that in the front? Yeah. For 3, 2, 1. Return back to 90 degrees. Step back for me. Change onto the opposite leg. Start off by leaning forward. Next exercise, take your left arm, cross it across your body, and I want you to grab. And the tighter you pull here, the more stretch you're going to feel into those deltoids and into those lats. Pull nice and tight for 3, 2, 1. You can release, switch over to the opposite side. You can release, that's good. This is Miss Dorsey stretch, so I want you to take your hand up over your head for me. Grab from the top. I want you to pull down, and you feel a nice deep stretch across the side of the body. That's it. 3, 2, 1. You can relax, switch over to the opposite side, grab from on top, and pull down for me. That is our workout for today. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you learned something new. Now you understand how to use the adequate and correct weights when you are exercising, what the strength zone is, and a couple of exercises just to be able to improve your kind of exercise dictionary. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.